Tonight, the chief of Capitol Police steps down as questions arise as to how a breach at the Capitol happened. Plus, open for business. Entertainment venues in Minnesota are anxiously waiting to welcome customers back as COVID restrictions are lifted. But first, conflict on the county board. Why one commissioner is being called out for how he described the city of Duluth.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Welcome to the CBS3 News at 6. We're taking a live look at the U.S. Capitol as the dust of yesterday's events has settled. Washington law enforcement is facing some scrutiny today after how yesterday's crowd was handled. We'll have more on that later in the show.
I desperately try not to put my nose into this cesspool whenever I don't have to.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. That was St. Louis County Commissioner Keith Nelson. You heard him there refer to the city of Duluth as a cesspool. The comment coming as they elected board leadership during Tuesday's meeting. Tonight, Nelson explains what he meant by the comment and says he won't be apologizing for it. CBS3's Leanne Valdez lays out what happened.
I desperately try not to put my nose into this cesspool whenever I don't have to.
It was a rocky start to the first St. Louis County Board meeting of 2021. St. Louis County Commissioner Keith Nelson's comment Tuesday rubbed some people, including a fellow commissioner representing the Duluth area, the wrong way.
The word cesspool strikes me as particularly awful, and given the present environment, fits with a lot of language that folks are using to disparage places that are more diverse.
At the meeting, Commissioner Frank Jewell said the board was discussing roles for the 2021 commissions. One was the Planning Commission.
I brought up the issue of not having county commissioners on the Planning Commission because we should have it a citizen-led effort.
Nelson is currently the county commissioner for the Planning Commission. Jewell says Nelson got upset and called Duluth a cesspool. Commissioner Nelson told us Thursday he never got to finish the rest of his sentence because he was interrupted by Jewell.
The cesspool that I was talking about is the politics in the city of Duluth and how it's starting to run over into the corridor townships, one of which I represent, which is Friedenberg.
Commissioner Nelson adds there is currently no room for open discussions within the county, and Jewell has been, quote, sticking his nose into Friedenberg Township in regard to a gravel pit permit.
It's not the first time he's done that.
Nelson says Jewell's comment was retribution.
He thought he was wronged earlier in the day on the chair-vice chair piece, but the bottom line is he didn't have 4 votes.
Nelson is referring to the board voting Commissioner Mike Jugovich from Chisholm as chair for the second straight year, a back-to-back tenure that hasn't been seen in recent memory. But Jewell says Nelson has name-called Duluth many other times.
He commonly refers to Duluth and the southern part of the county in negative terms.
Nelson says he still stands by his statement.
I'm not going to apologize for saying it.
Meanwhile, Jugovich says he's since talked to Nelson.
I had a conversation with Commissioner Nelson immediately when we took a break and then again after the meeting. And I think it was wrong, and we're trying to move forward.
We asked Jugovich, Jewell, and Nelson if the board has a strong north and south divide. Jugovich says no, while Nelson and Jewell say absolutely. The next St. Louis County Board meeting is set for January 26th. After weeks of planning, Itasca County announced they're now vaccinating essential workers. County Rep said it would be available in tiers with hospital workers, first responders, firefighters, and law enforcement among the first to get the vaccine. Residents and staff in nursing facilities and assisted living will follow, with some already being vaccinated this week. Outpatient healthcare workers are included in the first phase and will follow long-term care staff and residents.
As guidance on phases of vaccine rollout evolve, we adjust our plans. We're in contact with our healthcare providers on the phases they are responsible for, and will continue to collaborate as we administer the vaccines to our Itasca County residents in the coming weeks and months.
Since December, county health officials say cases of COVID-19 have decreased, with only 53 new cases in the last week. St. Luke's has another tool to fight COVID-19. The hospital added rapid antigen testing, which gives same-day results. If you've had symptoms for 5 days or less, you can get the test at St. Luke's Respiratory Clinic. If you have a doctor's note, you can get the test at St. Luke's Drive-Thru Garage. Duluth is looking for feedback on how to use a large chunk of CARES Act money. The city received $1.7 million in the latest round of federal relief. Now they're accepting proposals for how to use that money. $500,000 can be used for community development block grants and $1.2 million for emergency solution grants. The money must help the community in preparing for, preventing, or responding to COVID-19. Proposals are due January 22nd, with decisions expected to be made in March. Starting Monday, entertainment centers, restaurants can now open their doors after Governor Walz loosened COVID-19 restrictions. For Glensheen Mansion in Duluth, they won't be opening their doors right away. Since January is part of their winter season, their hours are limited already. Instead, the museum will continue making their COVID-19 safety plan and are thinking of more outdoor events they can host when they do open their doors. They add, being an indoor and outdoor facility, their restrictions look different than other entertainment centers.
So we have to follow a variety of different things. And so like we have an indoor capacity and we have a grounds capacity as well. So that will, impact how we do different things.
Their reopening plan must be approved by UMD. Part of the loosened restrictions require all food services stopped by 10 p.m. and face coverings are required. Dave's here for a look at the weather. Dave, some fog we're facing out there.
The past few mornings have had some fog, and we're doing it again tomorrow morning. Thick enough for Minnesotans and some Wisconsinites that we have to have another advisory. So we'll show you the map. And folks in Minnesota and over towards Wisconsin, including Douglas and Burnett counties, dense fog advisory from about 8 o'clock tonight through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning's commute for about half of our region then will be a little bit iffy and dicey, but hopefully not overly icy. So hopefully we'll get by. And taking a look at what's going on as far as the sky cover goes, we did break through the clouds a bit this afternoon, and a bit of blue sky came around over the hill here in Duluth at least. But once we get into tonight, clouds will filter back in aloft, and then the dense fog will form at the surface, and that sets us up for a Friday that should look like this: mostly cloudy to foggy in the morning, and then partial sunshine breaking forth again in the afternoon. High temp around 24 degrees. Won't be as warm tomorrow as it was today, but it's still 5 degrees warmer than normal. A clue as to the type of temperature we'll be getting for the week ahead. We'll talk about how long this latest warm spell will last coming up in just a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Today, the Washington law enforcement agencies are facing tough questions about their handling of pro-Trump violence at the Capitol. This evening, we learned the head of the U.S. Capitol Police will resign effective January 16th following the breach of the Capitol. Chief Stephen Sund said today that police had planned for a free speech demonstration and did not expect the violent attack. He said it was unlike anything he'd experienced in his 30 years in law enforcement. He resigned after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called on him to step down. The police response is also being criticized by civil rights leaders as a double standard. Jeff Pegues reports from Washington.
Police were no match for the swarm of protesters that stormed the steps of the Capitol, breached the doors, and marched through the halls of Congress.
It appeared to me that the response outside was slow.
Terry Gaynor is a former chief of the U.S. Capitol Police, who estimated that half to three-quarters of some of the 2,300 Capitol Hill police officers were prepared. He says the force may have underestimated the potential of this protest.
The cavalry should have been coming to get those people the hell off the steps and the platforms, but that would have been very, very ugly and difficult to do if you didn't have superior force.
Social media video from Wednesday's event appears to show Trump supporters entering a security perimeter with little resistance from officers. In another post, people appear to be posing for selfies with those in uniform. After the breach, 1,100 D.C. National Guard troops were deployed, and hundreds of federal law enforcement officers were sent in to assist. Compare that to June, when around 5,000 guardsmen and 1,600 active duty troops were brought to the D.C. area in advance of protests following the death of George Floyd.
If this were a group of young people who was organizing under the banner Black Lives Matter, we would have seen triple the number of law enforcement.
Derek Johnson is the president of the NAACP.
It was irresponsible to put lawmakers in danger the way law enforcement agencies did today. But it's equitable when you compare what we've seen all summer, peaceful protests, and a response that was not consistent.
Gaynor says those who did break into the Capitol could now face felony charges.
There's some pretty clear pictures of people in hallways and hanging from the walls in the Senate chambers. Beware. I hope we're coming for you.
Police say 52 people were arrested, just 26 arrested on Capitol grounds. More arrests are expected in the coming days. Duluth's mayor is weighing in again on Wednesday's events at the U.S. Capitol. In a Facebook post, she said she believes things will get worse before they get better, saying the levels of hate, division, and racism, which have always existed, have been freely invited out of the shadows. She's asking people to stay grounded in their values and to support elected leaders like Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. She also said it will take years to rebuild and find wholeness. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, a big change is coming to the Superior Library. We'll tell you all about it next.
Here's today's almanac, which is made up of data compiled by National Weather Service Duluth for Duluth International Airport, where they say the normal high temperature is 19. Well, we beat that by about 12 degrees today, but perhaps only by 5 tomorrow. Still, all in all, a warm spell will continue, and we'll talk about for how long coming up after our break.
Join us weeknights. We're live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health interventional neurologist Vikram Jadhav explains strokes.
An acute stroke is a very time-sensitive problem. People who are having a stroke essentially are not getting any blood supply to the brain, and thereby they are not getting any oxygen to the brain. The brain is a very sensitive organ that the brain cells start dying as soon as the blood supply stops. You can imagine if the brain doesn't get any blood supply just for 1 minute, about 2 million neurons or brain cells die. And that translates into about 3.6 years of normal aging if the brain doesn't get any blood supply for an hour. So let's look at the risk factors or the subset of people who are more vulnerable because of the risk factors that they can take care of. These are patients who would have high blood pressure and bad cholesterol, patients who have other risk factors like diabetes, then patients who are smokers.
As an advanced thrombectomy capable stroke center, Essentia is able to remove clots from the brain blood vessels, saving our patients valuable time by ensuring they don't have to travel hours for care.
These are places or institutions which can provide the entire gamut of stroke care 24/7 all the time, and who have the specialized care that can be given by doing the thrombectomy procedure. Time is of essence, time is brain.
Remember the BFAST acronym: balance, eyes, face, arms, or speech. T is for timeliness. If you experience any of these stroke signs, go to an ER or call 911. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medicalinsight.
I choose the Heritage Window and Door because of their reputation and because of their renewal Anderson windows that they have. And their workmanship was fantastic.
I'm so impressed.
Your home is your largest investment. Don't waste your money on cheaper windows. These are the best. It's my money, and I'm going to spend it where it's going to do me the best good, and it happened to be Heritage Window and Door.
They really know how to treat a customer.
This has been an excellent experience.
3, 2, 1, open for business. You're doing it! I'm doing it!
I know Gina from high school, and she's donating a kidney.
I'm a giver.
Big smiles. Not the pageant one, Jill, the real one.
I'm more jazzed than I thought I'd be, and that was pretty jazzed.
The comedy starts at 8/7 Central tonight on CBS.
CBS3 News is brought to you by Duluth Casino. CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Heritage Window and Door. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Since Saturday, the mornings have been painted very pretty around here with frost on all of the trees, both rime frost and hoar frost. How do you tell the difference? Well, if it comes around on a clear morning, it's probably hoar frost. If it's rime frost, it happened with a foggy morning. That's what happened around the region this morning, and likely again come tomorrow morning. We're looking at a dense fog advisory for Minnesota and Douglas County and Burnett County in Wisconsin again tomorrow morning as we spend another day in that quiet zone in between high and low pressure systems. Neutral pressure, one could say. So it's not going to be clear, it's not going to be snowy, it'll be cloudy but dry and warmer than normal for the week ahead. We'll talk about how much warmer than normal after we take a quick look at the current situation there in Virginia, uptown Virginia. Still looking fairly calm, just like the weather has been and will be for several more days. Here's what's going on at the airport right now. It's 21 degrees with the calm wind, and the air pressure at the surface is pretty high at 3.47 inches of mercury. But again, since the center of high pressure so far to the southeast, it's not high enough to put away all the clouds that are being created by a low pressure system that's so far to the west, it can't really create any snow, splitting the difference and stuck in the middle with you. All right, temperatures 20 to 25 in the Upper Peninsula. Looks like 18 to 24 at this hour in northwestern Wisconsin. And things are starting to dip a bit in Minnesota, right now down to 13 in Hibbing. And that gives us then the general range of our overnight low temperatures, about 10 above inland to maybe 20 right by the lake. Warmer than normal for the lows and for the highs. Doppler map right now shows that after this morning's round of fog and the rime ice on the trees, we got a bit of a break in the afternoon with a clearer sky and a few peaks of blue, but that will not last. No, here's that nether world we're talking about. The high pressure's off to the east, low pressure's well off to the west. We won't get any snow, but we will get the clouds. It'll become mostly cloudy again tonight and probably at least partly sunny tomorrow afternoon, again after a cloudy, foggy morning. And then the action of this high will keep this low at bay, keeping the clouds around, but keeping the snow away probably through the weekend. Well, here's what we get tonight then. In Minnesota, the range of low temps, like I said, should go from about 10 to maybe 20, mostly cloudy sky. Into Wisconsin and Michigan, mid-teens are more likely there, though, again, right along the North Shore, you may get just a bit warmer towards 20. Calm wind for Wisconsin and fairly gentle for Minnesota, UP as well. Partly sunny tomorrow for Wisconsin and Michigan in the afternoon after that foggy morning. High temps in the mid-20s. For Minnesota, low to mid-20s. Partly sunny in the afternoon again after, especially there, getting the chance for the morning fog. And with our extended forecast again with highs and lows not really right on top of our area, we've got a cloudier sky, but no snow for the week ahead, and temperature trends will be warmer than normal yet again for the next week, both for the daytime highs and those overnight lows, Kristen.
I'm glad you gave that little explainer about the different types of frost. Rime frost, right?
Rime.
Rime?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I saw this morning on my walk. And now I know the difference.
And then Saturday we had that hoar frost because it was clear and cold then, but foggy now. And that's about the best way to tell the difference between the two because they look very similar.
Good.
Both beautiful.
Both absolutely beautiful, yes. Thanks, Dave. The new year means no more worrying about late fees at the Superior Public Library. Library reps announced they've become a fine-free library. The move allows more people to access the library's materials. Fines can be an economic barrier for some people. Reps say most people return items on time, but they don't want to penalize busy families or discourage them from enjoying the library. They also say the fines didn't really work as intended.
We thought it was a way to get people to return their items more promptly. And we found over the years that that is not the case. And it was really acting as a barrier to people being able to use the library.
The library will still issue fines and replacement costs for lost or damaged items. About 400 University of Wisconsin Superior students are getting emergency funding. UWS handed out $150,000. The university leaders say they wanted to get money to students who truly need it right now. Since the pandemic, UW-Superior has awarded more than $900,000 in additional aid to its students. 10 months into the pandemic, Wisconsin's National Guard has conducted more than 1 million COVID tests. Governor Tony Evers says this represents a significant milestone in the state's effort to offer regular, widespread testing. Since April, the Guard's soldiers have held mobile testing sites at senior living facilities, correctional facilities, health clinics, and some businesses upon requests. Testing at Wisconsin National Guard supported sites represents only some of the testing available statewide. Coming up in sports, the Packers rest up before their divisional game next weekend. Plus, the Badgers share their thoughts on the new NCAA tournament format. All this and more coming up right after the break.
Dominate any terrain on a Polaris snowmobile from Duluth Lawn and Sports.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Your business relies heavily on IT. Whether you know it or not, you need local experts that can solve any IT problem. You need Citin. Proudly serving the Northland since 1994 and trusted by businesses just like yours. Citin, always on.
When facing a major healthcare decision, it's wise to seek a second opinion from a team of established experts. Financial decisions deserve the same level of care and expertise. At MPPL Financial, we develop your plan by assembling a personalized team that includes experts in multiple disciplines. So the result is a coordinated care plan that covers all areas of your financial life. Your outcome depends on the quality of care you receive. Call today to set up your free second opinion consultation or visit MPPLfinancial.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and as you know, my passion is to help each and every one of you get the best sleep of your life. That's why I created my new Giza Dreams bed sheets. I started by using the world's best cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. It's ultra soft and breathable, but extremely durable. My Giza sheets also include full 21-inch wide pillowcases that will fit over any pillow and deep pocket sheets that will fit over any mattress. The first night you sleep on my sheets, you'll never want to sleep on anything else.
Call or go online now to take advantage of Mike's Christmas special. Use your promo code, and for a limited time, when you buy one set of sheets, you'll get another set absolutely free. And Mike will extend his money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2021. Order from a variety of colors and solids and new flannel sheets. And don't forget to get your MyPillow gift card for the best Christmas gift ever. Order now.
Let's make healthy happen in 2021. Join for $1 going on now through February 2nd. For more information, visit AnytimeFitness.com.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland city by city.
3, 2, 1. Open for business. You're doing it! I'm doing it!
I know Gina from high school, and she's donating a kidney.
I'm a giver. Big smiles. Not the pageant one, Jill, the real one.
I'm more jazzed than I thought I'd be, and that was pretty jazzed.
The comedy starts at 8/7 Central tonight on CBS.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to live local CBS3. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3 for up-to-date coverage morning and night.
It's a well-earned bye for the Packers as the top seed in the NFC playoffs. They can take their juggernaut offense, the top-scoring group in the league, averaging over 31 points per game. A lot of that has to do with their success in the red zone, or as they call it, the gold zone. Green Bay scored touchdowns on 80% of their drives inside the 20 during the regular season. The previous franchise record for red zone touchdowns was 68%. Their third down conversion rate was also up this season, a point of pride for offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett.
I think it's about just trying to create an environment that people
want to play for each other. It just makes it harder for defenses, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, everybody gets to root for each other, and you see it on the sideline. That's something that's so great is just on the field, how the guys celebrate together, how they truly appreciate each person. So yeah, you have to have everybody have an opportunity and really showcase what they're doing, because that's what everybody gets fired up for.
The way the seeding works, there are only 4 potential opponents for them in the divisional round. That's the Rams, Bucks, Bears, and Washington football team. If all the games go to the favorites, they would host Tampa Bay next week. It was announced earlier this week that the NCAA will host the entire men's basketball tournament in Indianapolis and its surrounding areas this upcoming March. If all goes well, the Wisconsin men's basketball team will be one of the 68 teams to take part in the tournament, a bubble-like format with most teams staying and practicing in the same facilities. Wisconsin head coach Greg Gard told the media on Tuesday that he's pleased with the future setup.
You know, I think it looks from the outside like a pretty, decent idea, good idea. I think that keeping everybody close and minimizing just having teams that do have to fly there, it's one flight and you're not bouncing around. Indianapolis has always done a really good job, whether it's been Big Ten tournament, the Final Four. It's been a great city to go to. I can't think of a better place to put it than Indianapolis. So I guess we'll see how it works.
Gard and the Badgers will be in action tonight when they take on Indiana. Finally, in the NBA, the Timberwolves will be playing late on the West Coast, trying to snap a 5-game skid against the Portland Trail Blazers. That tip-off is scheduled for 9 p.m. And coming up tonight at 10, we have highlights from the Northwestern and Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser game coming up. Now, I'll send things back to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Neil. Also coming up tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, last night we heard from many local lawmakers and their opinions on the chaos that went down at the Capitol. Tonight at 10, we'll hear the thoughts from Republican Representative Tom Tiffany, who continues his election objection. Ancient shark teeth, bones of woolly rhinoceros, mammoths, and other extinct animals, those are rare artifacts which attract Russian paleontologists to the ice-covered Tobol River, some 1,200 miles east of Moscow. For almost 2 decades, scientists have teamed up with divers for a bone hunt on the outskirts of the town of Kurgan. The search takes place nearly 10 feet underwater as the air temperatures drop from -4 to -13 degrees. The bone-rich underwater area, which is believed to be around more than half a mile long, was discovered by divers in 2004. Dave, let's get a final look at the weather.
All right. It's going to be the same tomorrow as it was today and the day after and the day before. We're in the middle of a very calm, stable pattern, which doesn't have much oomph in any department. We're a little warmer than normal, high temps in the 20s, low temps in the teens. We're cloudier than normal, with most days being partly sunny to mostly cloudy, but no snow for the next 7 days, at least according to the latest data.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at 10.